national.
National championship. Top answer. How many of you remember him? Good. Jared was a member of the ESTEEM team, and we have the ESTEEM team back this afternoon. And this time we have gentleman Graeme here to talk to you. Okay, along the same lines that Darren spoke to you last fall. But before we get into that, I'm going to ask Samuel here to come up and say a few words and give a little bit of background about Graeme. Come on up, Samuel. Come on up. Nice and loud.
Graeme has always loved watching hockey. Ever since he can remember, he wanted to play in the National Hockey League. However, at the age of 3, Graeme became very ill and his life changed forever. Growing up, Graeme had to deal with the fact that he would never play in the NHL. In fact, he was told that he may never play any sports at all. Despite this disappointment, Graeme searched for a sport that he could get involved in. When Graeme was 11 years old, he was introduced to the sport of sledge hockey, and it was love at first sight. Not only did Graeme love playing sledge hockey, but he was really good at it. When Graeme turned 15, he became a member of Team Canada's men's national sledge hockey team. As part of Team Canada, Graeme has competed in the 2002-2006 Winter Paralympic Games, as well as the 2008 Sledge Hockey World Championships. Graeme is currently training for the 2010 Paralympic Games in Vancouver, BC, where he hopes to win another gold medal for Team Canada. Please join me in welcoming number 29, Graeme Murray.
Thanks, Samuel. That was really great. I just want to thank everybody for having me here this morning. And I guess you guys have all heard of the ESTEEM team before, right? Since you've had presenters in here. Hands up if you heard of it. That's great. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about the ESTEEM team and what it does, and a lot more about what I do as an athlete. The ESTEEM team is a program to Motivate Canada. It's a program that athletes get to go around presenting to students like yourselves all across Canada, showing them the benefits of living a healthy and active lifestyle, and it teaches them how to set and keep your goals to be a success. So you guys can pay attention to the presentation up here. SMART goals. How many of you have heard of the SMART goals before? Nobody? I'd like to teach you all about the SMART goals. This is my goal for today. When you leave here today, I want you to be able to tell me what SMART goals are and what each and every single one of your SMART goals are. So, SMART is an acronym. The S stands for specific. You need a specific goal. The M is measurable. You need something that you can attain at the end of this challenge you set for yourself. Attainable. You have to be able to attain this goal. R is realistic. Obvious, I think. And timely, or T. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. As Samuel mentioned before, at the age of 3, I became very, very sick. I was born a normal average kid, running around, playing all over the place. You can see in this picture, that's me at age 3, standing, right? Obviously not using a wheelchair. What's different from that picture then and me now, other than that I'm 20 years old? That's right. I use a wheelchair. He is not. When I was 3 years old, when I got sick, I was put in the hospital and caught a virus, a very rare virus. So it's nothing that anybody really has to worry about. It's when I was sick in the hospital, I woke up one morning. I couldn't sit up. Okay, I couldn't sit up on my own. I was laying down in my bed. My mom comes in. She says, "Okay, Graeme, I hope you're feeling better today. We're gonna go home." And I say, "Mom, I'm scared. I can't sit up." She's like, "What's the matter?" "I don't know. I can't move." And And she looks at me and she calls in the doctor. The doctor comes in, looks at me, he's like, I have no idea what's going on. We need to run some tests right away. I spent half a year, that's 6 months in the hospital, and they couldn't figure out what's wrong with me. The only thing that I knew when I left the hospital was that I couldn't walk anymore. It took them almost 16 years to figure out the virus that I caught. Luckily, it's so rare that it's really not affecting anybody else right now. But I had a chance. That virus changed my life forever because growing up, I was a really healthy and active kid. Like, I'm 3 years old wearing a motorcycle. I'm getting ready to go on a motorcycle run with my dad. He throws me on the front of his motorcycle and drive around the parking lot, and we in and out of the ditches and stuff. We have a great time. We even fell off the motorcycle once. Luckily, I was wearing a helmet because almost probably saved my life. But when I got home from the hospital after I was 3, I couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't run around and play soccer. I couldn't run around and play basketball. But you know what? Even though I was so young and I couldn't really make big life-changing decisions for myself, my mother decided right then and there that because I grew up in such a small town, having a disability wasn't going to make a difference to my life whatsoever. She said, Graeme, you're gonna play sports. You're gonna get involved in whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. This wheelchair you're in, it doesn't mean anything at all. So when I was in public school, you guys have like soccer intramurals at lunchtime and after school, right? You guys all play in those leagues, basketball and stuff. Well, I play soccer in my wheelchair. Imagine me trying to push myself down a grass field. The ball's coming up beside me, and I have to smack with my hand. What's the ref gonna call? I can't kick with my feet. You can't, right? In soccer, you can't touch the ball with your hands. So the ref had to make some special rules for my case. But you know what allowed me to play? It allowed me to play soccer. Same deal with basketball. I joined the basketball intramurals at school. And I can push my chair, and I can dribble a ball at the same time. And I can shoot a ball. Any basketball is fine. I used to play a lot of basketball when I was a kid from a wheelchair. But you know, there was a problem. Even though my mom told me that because I wasn't in a wheelchair, it wasn't going to change my life. When I started getting older, my friends and I, we started getting bigger, and I started becoming a threat to the health of some of the other people. So when I got into grade 7 and 8, a lot of the same age you guys are, a lot of teachers told me that it's too dangerous for you to play basketball with these kids. And I said, well, but I want to play basketball. And I was upset. When I went outside at recess, I got to sit on the sidelines. I got to sit there, and I didn't like it. I said, Mom, I want to play basketball. She said, okay. We had to drive, so we ended up finding a wheelchair basketball team. We had to drive an hour from my house to play every Sunday. And you know, that was going okay for me. It allowed me to play sports. It let me have a good time. But the next moment that changed my life was when I was 11 years old. So that's 8 years after I needed a wheelchair. I found the sport of sledge hockey. Like Samuel said, it changed my life forever. Just love at first sight. My mom, I'm 11, so my mom still drives me to practice. We get to the rink, and I'd never played hockey before. And Mom sits me down beside the ice. She says, "Are you sure you want to play this sport?" And I said, "Yes, I really do. I'm so excited to play this sport." My mom was terrified of me getting out on the ice. It looks so like it's full contact sport. I'm 11 years old, small, tiny little guy. And Mom said to me, "Well, we got to put some equipment on you." So they dressed me up in all this gear, and I was stuck like this. I was wearing so much equipment. My hands were stuck out, and I had these sticks in my hands. And I said, "Mom, I can't move. I need less equipment." She said, "Well, you're not going to get hurt." I'm like, "I'll be okay." So we found a team. I started playing some more, and I started getting really good. And I was told at the age of 15 that I could make the national sledge hockey team, men's team, and play for Team Canada. Now, I bet all of you, how many of you have heard of sledge hockey before? That's great. That's a lot of people. Anybody played it? No? That's awesome. So, hockey very similar to sledge hockey. I could sit here and tell you that it's great for everybody to play. It's equality, and it's brings everybody to the same playing field. It's just this great sport for everybody. But that'd just be half the story. My favorite part about sledge hockey is the contact. I grew up. I watched the NHL, and I love playing hockey. Like Samuel said, I wanted to play in the NHL. But dealing with the fact that I was in a wheelchair, I had to deal with not being allowed to. Like, they don't have guys. You don't see guys in sleds playing in the NHL, right? So when I found out that I could make the national team, I was ecstatic. Like, I came home from tryouts one morning, and I was so nervous I'd just sit on the couch and wait for a phone call from coach. Speaking of tryouts, when I get to the ice, the first time with the national team guys, I was 15 years old. Most of the guys trying out for the team are in their 20s and 30s, so they're like big guys compared to me. They're so fast. And I've never been the fastest skater on the ice. I've never been the best player on the ice. But there's one thing that I have that makes me, that means that I can play for the national team. I'm a determined player. I play with a lot of heart. So when I skate as hard as I can. When I hit as hard as I can. When I get the puck, I do everything I can to make sure it goes in the net. That means I don't give up for anything. And that's what the coaches saw in me. That's what they liked. And that is how I made the national team. So when I'm done with this presentation, I'd like to invite you guys all up to have a little closer look at some of the equipment. These pieces of equipment I'm going to show you the only thing different about sledge hockey. You see the picture? Underneath your gear is standard equipment: elbow pads, shoulder pads, shin pads, helmet. The sticks, most are used to seeing in stand-up hockey. Use one stick, blade on it, shoot with both hands. In hockey, I need my sticks to move myself. So these have sharp metal picks on the bottom. You can all come up after and have a close look at these, but these are really sharp. I remember going to a tournament in Sweden one year where I was skating down the ice, and I make my hit with shoulder contact, clean hit, just fine. The guy I hit didn't like it. He was playing against Sweden. He rammed his picks down on my arm, right here, and he tried to cut me. But when he did that, his picks got somehow stuck in my sweater, so he was trying to pull away, but he couldn't get the picks out of the sweater. So he dragged his picks along my arm, and sliced my arm open from my elbow to my wrist. And I'm not trying to say that the sport's a dangerous sport, but there's some things you have to watch out for. Now that's a really extreme case. I came home from that tournament with 17 cuts on my arms. But now I wear better equipment so I don't get cut anymore. This, my sled. This is the absolute biggest part of sledge hockey. You can see it's not very heavy, but it's custom fit for me. You guys could probably fit in it, but it wouldn't fit right for you. You can have one custom made for your own size and shape. But it basically consists of this plastic bucket that I sit in, my feet strapping up here, and it's easy to see in the picture how it works. But on the bottom are these two sharp skate blades. These are taken out of the boots any of you guys wear on the ice. So when you're skating on the canal, you can take those skates, take the skates off and take these skate blades right out of the bottom of it and bolt them on the bottom of my sled. Now, these skates are pretty narrow, right? I mean, that looks like it'd be hard to keep balance on. When I first started playing, my skates were about 4 inches apart, so this far apart. And, it made it easy for me to balance on the skates, but I couldn't turn. So, the way turning your sled works is when you're pushing down the ice, you have to lean your sled over, just like when you're skating, you have to lean your skates over. So when you lean your sled over, the sled carries around the corner. It's simple like that. In sledge hockey, all the rules are the same. The only different rule in sledge hockey is the fact that there's an extra penalty called T-boning. It's when you hit somebody with the front of your sled. It's like a cross check. It's not allowed to get 2 minutes for it. In international play, though, Canada and Norway rank number 1 and 2 in the world. Just an example of how tough these games are. Our last major championship in Boston, last April. We won that championship. We scored our game-winning goal with 9.3 seconds left in the entire game. So, almost 10 seconds. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what happened after I made the national team. I was 15 when I made the team. It was my first Paralympic Games in Salt Lake City in 2002. We were coming into those games favored to win. We were supposed to win. We were ranked #1 in the world. Can we guess what we placed? 4th. We didn't medal at all. I was upset about that. We came in the dressing room. The whole team, after we lost that tournament, came in the dressing room. Every single player, 15 grown men, tears in their eyes. It's the saddest sight you ever seen in your life. And it's hard for me to relive that. But, I have to tell you guys about it so that I can explain to you what it takes to be healthy and active and set goals for yourself. Because when we lost that tournament, we decided that in Torino, the next Paralympic Games in 2006, we were going to win gold medal, first place. We set that goal then and there in Salt Lake City, that we were going to win the gold medal. And, it's my pleasure today that I get to show you that medal we won in Torino. So this is a real gold medal, and I'd like you guys all to come up and have a look at it afterward. So, as an athlete, sledge hockey has taken me all around the world. But just because I play for Team Canada and we win gold medals, it doesn't mean that I'm a success. What I consider a success is setting your SMART goals. So, obviously S stands for specific. Does anyone remember what M stands for? That's right, measurable. What about A? Attainable, very close, good. And the R? Very good, good word. And the T? Time. Great. So you guys, if I ask you guys this afternoon to write down a goal, a SMART goal for yourself, are you going to be able to come up with a SMART goal for each to attain that SMART goal? So you guys can write all these goals down? So, as I said, sledge hockey has taken me all over the world. The farthest I've been was Japan. I went to Japan. Anybody who can point out Japan? It's way over there on the right. Tiny little island. It's probably the farthest you can go from this country. I flew there for 4 games, just for fun. So, I'm really trying to teach you guys about the SMART goals, okay? That's really, I want you to be able to remember these when I leave today. But something that I can tell you from my story is that there's 3 important points in my life that I told you about today. So I was 3 years old when I got my disability. I was 15 when I made the national team. And in 2006, we won our gold medal. So, you know what it took for me to deal with all 3 of those situations? I had to be dedicated